Hitting the buzzer beater or something. Championship game. Dream team. Feeling better than I ever been. Cairo in his bag, this beat is heaven sent. Back up in my element, new whip, trunk up in the front, I whip an elephant. It's all limo tent, that's how you move when you the president. You assin' off stream, treat him like my last name. Disrespecting, you just signed a check for a long day. Appetizer rappers, you will never be an entree. Really, you a condiment, and I hope y'all follow this. Crazy how people with the most money lack the common sense. Batman over Gotham, how I'm over shit. Running this game, now they finally noticing. Hear us on TV like, damn, yup, I know that's them. Just had to pay the dues. Now I feel like we could never lose. But it's us against the world. Now we finally got the tools. Watch a few years later, turn a puddle to a pool. We just gotta keep it hot to keep the family living cool. All we do is win like a size dad. I just bought my mom a Louis V bag. I just took little bro to BB Simons.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Coach Terrell Buckley Show, episode 2. I'm your host, Zach McKinnell, joined by my co-host, Coach Leroy, Frederick's inside wide receivers coach and associate head coach. And of course, the star of this show, head coach of Mississippi Valley State, Coach Terrell Buckley. Coach, we had some really good feedback on episode 1. A lot of people were excited to hear just about what's going on around in Itabino, the direction of the program. We chopped it up about a variety of topics. I wanted to kick us off today, though, because it's kind of building off episode 1. You talk about institutional support, yes, and it doesn't really get any bigger in terms of a head football coach than what the athletic director's doing. And Dr. A.D. Gadson plays a big role in allowing you to do all the things you want to do with this program. Talk a little bit about Dr. Gadson's impact and y'all's relationship behind the scenes and what you guys are doing together to further Mississippi Valley State and the football program.
Wow, you talk about a turnaround. You know, I came here before, and we talk about being a change agent, and I thought I was doing a pretty good job. And then I get a chance to meet Dr. Gadson, and man, it is taking off. Dr. Gadson is coming here full of energy, full of fire, and she has a slogan. I don't want to steal it from her, but she's like, "Why not Valley? Why not Valley?" The intelligence, the vision, the work ethic is second to none. Give you an example. She was like, "Well, what time you want to meet?" She talks about any time. And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm up and ready to go at 6:30." She's like, "Okay, cool, me too." So we meet at 6:30, and it is hour or so of just let's business, and this is what we have to do. This is how we can do this and do that. Pretty amazing. Obviously I'm grateful, but I think we got blessed to get Dr. Gadson, and with her work ethic and vision and knowledge and understanding. When all those things, it's hard to get in one person. So I tip my hat off to her, and amazing. We got lucky. I would say we got blessed.
And with that blessing, Coach, when we're talking about Dr. Gadson, in your experience, you've been around athletics for a long time. How big a role does it play that she's a former athlete as well in what it is that you're trying to do and getting your vision across to her?
It's huge. It's huge because she understands the recruiting. She understands when the players are acting up and you're doing everything you can do as a coach. She understands the restraints. She's heard yes, she's heard no. Okay, what can we do? What's the game plan? I need the solutions. I understand this is not maybe the direction. I understand you don't want. We want to do this. Every story, every situation, she's heard that, or somebody has told her about that. So She has a solution, and that's what I like. I'm a solution person, and you got another person that's a solution person. That what the young folks say, go get her, go get it, and that's what you want. And you got two go getters that are of their department. Obviously, the football department. She's the boss. Two go getters trying to go get things done. You don't have a choice but to be successful.
And with that being said, the landscape, a lot of things. I don't think a lot of people realize that in some programs, coaches don't have a lot of input in things like schedule, and things like their apparel and things like that. By her being a former athlete, I gotta believe that she's kind of letting Coach Buckley lead the way in that. And if she is, how much leeway is she giving you in doing those things?
It's the front. She is like, okay, I'm gonna help you if you needed help. If you need help, what do you want to play? How do you want to set these games up? And then if I can't get it done, or we having issues negotiation, she steps in. And I say, I feel so good about it. So I sit in there and ask her, how can we work this out? Because she's done that. She's been there. So I know two eyes, two minds is better than one. And I know where we're going. We talked about getting in the boat last week. We're in the same boat, pedaling the same way. And that is special. And that I'm very appreciative about that.
That's huge. That's huge. And then I'm gonna throw this one to you, and then I'm gonna let B get back in it. She also has a background in compliance,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is really not magnified enough. But how big has that been for you coming in with her? And both of you guys got there kind of late. How big has that part of her bag been for you in moving the program forward?
Oh man, it's been awesome. Because if I don't know it, obviously I just pick up the phone, call her, we got the answer, and we move forward. Instead of spending weeks and months on not really understanding what's going on, the
Mm-hmm.
decision is being made very, very quickly, and we can move forward.
And to kind of build on Coach's conversation about the schedules is kind of pushing the conversation forward a little bit because there's been a lot of debate across the SWAC about what's the best way to schedule in the SWAC and getting the strength of schedule up because we've seen teams go out and play. And I know you guys played them this past year, Lincoln, and I know Coach Fred played them at his previous institution as well. And they aren't even playing this year. We saw that school in Texas that canceled on PV last minute. They just shut their program down. You see a lot of D2 games. How do you balance? And this even goes to Dr. Gatson as well. How do you balance making money with the schedule, making sure you have enough home games and money games, but also scheduling out of conference games that help your team improve and give you an opportunity to put the SWAC on the map with a big out of conference upset?
Well, I would say this about those games. You schedule games, you play the game to win. Whoever's on the schedule, you go out and compete. And that's what we try to do. The SWAC TV app that was brought about by the commissioner last season is a game changer. Like I said last time, we played 10 games. I want to say 10 games on the app, and average, I want to say around about 800,000. So they schedule the games. We do our part. We show up and play. I think, and I would say this about Lincoln. That everybody talks about they're not playing this year. They play hard now. They play hard, and that's all you can ask for. You try to get a team together because you love football. You love it, and I think it's unfair sometimes too. Like, wow, well you're not registered in this and registered in that, and killing young men's dream just because of some type of circumstances they can't control. I think it's a little bit unfair. You get guys that want to go out and compete and they play hard, and let them.
And then to kind of build off that too, without giving too many details, right? Because we know there's some stuff you can't share on the show, but just to give the Valley fans a little bit of insight, we saw the new scoreboard put in, we saw the new turf. What's next? Like, what are you pushing for with Dr. Gadsden? Like, well, how are we pushing this program forward?
Man, we are. I told you guys last time with the president and his vision and what he's trying to do, change agent with the V Club. You see, this thing is powered by the V Club. From inside out, it is heading in the right direction. And I'm just thankful I'm on the train, right? We know what has happened in the past. Since I've been here, all I've seen is this way, thumbs up, moving forward. I am so excited. And when we get ready to release this schedule, the competition, what we've done, we'll talk about a little later, in recruiting. We're trying to finish up this mid-year class. I mean, you put them thumbs up like that, and you see this smile, man, this train is rolling.
And as we're rolling, Coach, and I'm a
Well, let me interrupt you, Fred. Let me tell
yeah.
you, we are blazing our own trail.
Highway 82, look out, baby.
Yes.
Hey, I'm a lob this one up, Coach. I know you used to hoop back in high school. You didn't know I knew that. They said you had hoppers. So when you caught those oops, did you prefer them off the backboard, or did you rather them throw it up like that?
Well, I had to get a running start. I want to catch it while I'm running downhill.
Downhill.
They say
Okay.
speed kills. Let me get that thing run. The backboard and get it to me right now so I get a running start, get up in that thing and let it
Okay.
happen.
You got
Yes.
the running start. I'm finna dish it to you now.
Okay, dish it.
Boom. As we said, this thing is powered by the V Club. And, we were talking today, this new world of college football, a lot of it is now powered by NIL. And we touched on it last show. We touched on it again in the office. And you kind of had some things that had some of the other guys in the office scratching their heads. I said Terrell Buckley back in coming out of his sophomore year, going to his junior year, would have been upwards of a meal back then. All right, back then. Knowing what we know now, college football, Hall of Famer, and the whole nine, before you get into this segue at NIL, what would Terrell Buckley be bringing in right now to stay at Florida State?
Oh man, I don't know.
What would you ask for? What would a young Terrell ask for?
I'm gonna use Dion's there. I'm gonna ask for so much money, they gotta put me on layaway. That's just the no way, man. Shout out, I'm going to talk about the Seminoles. Shout out to Peter Warwick, man. Peter Warwick, Peter up, going into the College Hall of Fame. I want to say that's Florida State 12th, right?
Yep.
And that was without the NIL. But getting back on topic, I tell you what, I'm excited for the young men with this, though. Removing myself from that picture, even though it'll been a high figure, but with the money is coming in for the obviously the big schools, the championships, the season is very long. You're putting your body on the line, whatever that number is. If you couldn't afford it, they wouldn't give it to you. So just let them keep doing what they're doing.
I mean, to kind of build off that, though, because you left early for the draft, if I'm not mistaken, we saw Dante Moore, Oregon quarterback, say he's coming back. We've seen a bunch of top 10 potential picks say they're coming back. Was there a number that Florida State could have thrown at you not to go to the draft early?
We didn't do that. They played for the love of the game. I would be tell you guys this. I did not want to leave Florida State. Even my junior year, I love college. I love walking on the set, FAMU. It was a great experience, right? My teammates. It was Florida State was a lifestyle. They tell me, like you said, culture. It was staying at Burt Reynolds Hall, walking down the track, going to Betty's. It was awesome. And I did not want to leave. But when they said you can be from 1 to the 5th pick, and the most money you done had is your Pell Grant that you was getting. It's like, man. And talking to Coach Andrews and Coach Bow, and they're like, T-Buck, you got to go. You got to go check that. And I was young. I was 20 years old.
Oh man.
I would say if I had a little money, a little more money, or some money, I ain't have no money, I probably would have stayed. That's how much fun I had. It was exciting. I mean, running out in that going and goal. And that's the same attitude, the same stuff that I feel here now in the Valley. And we use this saying. I'm getting excited talking about it. The Valley is rising. That really means something. The Valley is rising, and that encompasses all those things we talked about. That pride, that vision, that excitement, and where do you want to be? These young men, when we get done here, we're going to be talking about what happened in 2006, your time at the Valley, like I'm talking about in Tallahassee. That's what we're building here.
The student experience. And I
Yes.
think that's created 50-50 because I think the kids have got to create their own experience outside of the facility. But in the facility, just the vibe since I've been there has been awesome. The staff has been awesome. Was that a main thing for you, or is this just something that just happened? Creating that in the building, because I think a lot of people, if they don't come to the facility, they don't think it's as nice as it actually is. So was that a main goal of creating that away from the administration building, away from the cafeteria, creating that that student experience, student athlete experience?
Absolutely. It's about relationships. So, being an assistant coach for so long and being around different programs, being in different conferences from the MAC to the ACC, the SEC, dealing with different coaches, I wanted to be able to put my own stamp. And I know for the majority of the time, my guys, I say, you come around and hanging around your office. And I took pride in that as a position coach, that I'm going to be hard on you. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm demanding it. And this is what we talked about in your recruiting process. This is what I talked about with your parents. What's important? And I'm going to hold you accountable to that. But I'm also going to treat you with respect, right? So from that, you're getting developed. You're having a good time. And I was relentless, consistent in my approach. Transfer that to, okay, I'm getting this opportunity to be a head coach. What type of environment do I want? Open door policy. Guys come over all the time. I have guys right now from even last year. I mean, I was hard on. They just come sit in the office. I leave. We just sit down and talk. One young man just come over all the time. I'm like, hey, he coming over, and you like, okay, what's going on, man? Oh, nothing, coach. I just came over to say hi, see how your day was going. What? You don't, and that's the type of stuff to me that put a big smile on my face. Like, that's what it's about. You're making inroads, and it's not just what you do on the field. It's what you do off the field, how you treat these young men. What are we doing in the community? One of the things that I did that I think they really like, this past summer of taking them to different churches and getting them involved, there's different ways to thank the Lord. There's no certain way, but at the end of the day, all of us being thankful for what we've been blessed with. So it's not just pound, pound, pound. When you come to the den, we ain't just about to get on you. We ain't talking about your grades, talking about your family, how you doing, how's the relationship going. And we do it with love and some energy. So what you see us on the field, was all excited, doing the game and all that. It's the same way right now when nothing is going on.
On you, B.
Yeah, so just kind of building on something you said in there, you talk about the relationships you build with players and how you coach them. And we've heard former players, and we've even heard Dion say it where he's like, I can't coach the NFL because he was like, if he was like, I know the effort I had to give. If I don't
Mm-hmm.
see you giving that same effort, it's not going to sit right with me. And we've heard other players say, I can't be a good coach because I don't know how to teach it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was blessed with this ability. How did you cultivate yourself as a coach, taking it from, listen, I was an all-American defensive back. I was a top 5 pick. I was everything that you were. How did you cultivate and build yourself as a coach to take that talent and bring it into the coaching office and under the headset?
Mm-hmm. I think we talked about the football IQ, right? That I was not the biggest, right? And I was always picked when they was picking when I was younger. I was always picked in the middle to the back.
You was
And I
fast.
still would outperform. But I grew up in a lit area down on the coast of Mississippi where we had some players. It was probably about 15 of us down there. And I was kind of, again, the smallest one. So I had to learn angles. I had to learn, get my footwork, clean up my stuff. Now, I've always been kind of fast and kind of quick, but the body control, and then obviously you say the chip on the shoulder. Example how like Brock Purdy plays right with San Francisco, the quarterback. He's out there smiling all the time. He looks, he's young, and he's like, oh, Brock Purdy's so nice. But when you step between them lines, there's a certain intensity that he brings, and the preparation allows him to bring that. So I took that from me and poured into the players. And that's what has allowed me to have the patience, because the teaching part of anything is from the ground up. I understand what it takes, how to do it, how long it takes. And I know what the end goal is for me and for what I'm doing as a coach is to make sure that these young men left here better holistically than they came. I could tell you a story about some young guys, man, but it's personal to me to make sure that there is growth and improvement in every aspect of their life.
You kind of brought up the NFL there for a second, just to shift quickly before we jump into the main topic of the show, which is the NIL space. Coach, the Packers last week, man, blowing a huge lead, 25 points in what the fourth. Listen, Caleb Williams had some dimes in that fourth. He made some outstanding plays. Your takeaways on that of that game, and then just from your perspective as a player and a coach, have you ever been in a game like that where the momentum just shifts so drastically and it just feels like you can't bottle it all back up again, and you were on the wrong side of a huge comeback like that?
Absolutely. It happened to us last year as a coach. It is one of those things that I've learned from, and I take the approach when they say the aggressive coach. Sometimes you run into that coach that they're up and they keep going. And watching the Packers and the Bears play. And I told you guys last week that to me it'll be that type of game, but I feel like the Bears defense was going to overwhelm and take over, and then Caleb was going to make some plays.
Yep.
I was surprised, like a bunch of other folks, of the control and the way the Packers was taking it to them the first half, and then just lose it. And it's like, what? It's not like basketball, bam, bam, 3 points, the momentum switch. In between there's series in football, right? You average between 12 and 15 series a game. At a certain point in there, you come to the sideline, you feel like you can get control of it and come back. And what are you gonna call? Unfortunately, that didn't happen to my Packers, and that's the life in the playoffs, man. You sitting on the edge of your seat, and if you don't know how to finish, if your mind waver, your attitude, your body language get bad, the end results will not be good.
Well, shifting to the main part of this show, which is recruiting NIL, Coach, I think as we're recording this, I think the last number I saw was nearly 11,000 players have hit the portal. And obviously, and listen, we know what it is with the tampering. I know Frank Selfo over at Southeastern Louisiana said an SEC GM reached out to his player last night to hit the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And we still got guys hitting the portal as we're recording this. And it closes, I think, in 24 hours.
Yes.
How are you and your staff balancing this? Because let's just be honest, it's different than high school recruiting, right? Because you have possibly years. These kids are getting scouted in 8th and 9th grade, so you have time to build a relationship. Coach, you might have 2 days to build a relationship with a defensive back who's transferring from across the country. How much different is transfer portal recruiting compared to high school for you and the staff?
Well, you alluded to it. It's quick. We had a situation where we have a guy signed and ready to come here. We started school on Monday, ready to roll. Get a phone call Sunday night. I'm going somewhere else, and we backed off. Was very disappointed, but we still communicate. Hey man, good luck to you. Wish you the best. If anything changes, let us know. 2 days later, he called us back. You think we asked any questions? No. So I think the answer to that is don't take it personal. These are young men, 18, 19, 20 years old, sometimes 21, 22. Unless you play for Indiana, you might be 24, 25, right?
Yeah.
But still, don't take it personal. Coaches change their mind all the time. You do stuff. So I personally, and I tell the coaches, don't take it personal, man. These young men, get them here, let's work with them and see what happens. Basically, you have to say to yourself, hey, this is a 1-year gig. This is a 1 year. Let's get it done, see what happens. And guess what? We're going to be doing this again next year. But let's do it better. Let's get better organized, have a better understanding of what we want to do, how we want to do it. We spent probably 2-3 hours on building our team, talking about 10 players. But that's what you have to do. You have to put the time in. You have to understand what you have and the direction of where you're going. And for me, it's very simple. You play the game to win. Do you have winning players? Do you have a winning mentality? And are you willing to do what it takes? I read this quote, champions, and we should all know this, champions are made before they become champions. And we are making champions right now.
But, I mean, before I toss it back to you, Coach Fred, one build up, and shout out to my guy Tremaine, man. He gives us such good topics for the show because he's just a walking soundbite. At the coaches convention, he made headlines again by saying, "I don't feel like you can win with a team full of 18-year-olds." He said that's why we're going to live in the portal. What's your balance that you want to see Valley utilize? Are we heavy portal, occasional high school, or are we a mix of high school, JUCO, and transfers, and we're going to try to build it like a mixing pot all together? What's your approach personally?
Well, shout out to Tremaine too. I had a great conversation with him before we played. Very, very intelligent man that understands what it takes, and I'm happy we get a shot to get it on again next year, right? But my vision or thoughts on that is very simple. I want playmakers. Playmakers. I don't care if you're 17, 19, 24, 25. Playmakers.
There you have it.
Coach Fred. Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect answer. I'm tossing you, Coach Fred.
Hey, so we talk about it being quick. and you get on the phone, you gotta get it all lined up. What is Coach Buckley selling to that DB across the country in that 24-hour one phone call he's got? What is Coach Buckley selling to get that guy on campus right here?
Wow. Simple. First thing, Google me.
We talked about
No,
that.
no. What I'm selling is development. You got to understand who you're dealing with, right? And I use at one point as assistant coach, and I just tell the guys this: I ask them the questions. What do you want to get out of this? Do you want a degree? You want to be a coach? Or you want to go to the NFL, right? You want to play at the high school, or you want to sign a professional contract, because you have professional teams out there besides the NFL. You have UFL, and you have Canada, right? Well, if you look at, when I say Google me, not just me playing days, but look at the guys, right? There's over 30 guys that I have coached, DBs, that have signed professional contracts. My last stop was University of Mississippi. Four of my players signed professional contracts. Some was drafted high, some were free agent. One is with the Chicago Bears, Jay Jones, that called no names. Jeremy Jones with Jacksonville. I'm not, but we have a few guys. One guy from I do out the country too. Dean Leonard from Canada. So international players. I mean, I take them all. One was a two-way player. You say development. We had a receiver. Wasn't doing nothing over on offense. Nobody could deal with it. Nobody wanted to. Probably one of my best recruiting jobs. Catch him walking through the hallway. Hey man, what's up? How you doing? Catch him at the dinner. Hey, how you feeling? Why your head down? What's going on? You know what? I like your feet. I like the way you move your feet, man. Have you ever thought about this? I tell you what, let's talk tomorrow. See what's going on. Guess what? You ever heard of Xavier Rhodes? Oh, he's big like you too. Put them. You got to know who you're dealing with. Feel the temperature. Gauge the room. What do you want out of this? I'm just giving y'all a little bit of taste. You got to know. Listen, I know what I'm doing. See, change your voice. Hey, what's going on, big fella? How you know?
Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. Oh, you 4'3"? Man, I know a 4'3" guy. So having fun, doing all that, but getting down to business. Can you develop? Do you have patience? Do you understand what I'm talking about, coach? And then whatever questions you ask, I can look them in their eyes and be honest with them. Yes, I understand everything. And then if you think I don't, I got other coaches on the staff. Hey, guess what? They've been there too. They understand. So I tell you what, big fella, let's get together and see can we work this thing out. But I always tell them this. And I end a conversation like this. If you don't want to work hard, you don't want to be held accountable, you don't want to become the best version of yourself, this ain't the place for you. I wish you the best. We can still talk. We can still text each other, see how you're doing. But we're gonna put it in. We're gonna put that work in. And you're gonna like it. I have to tell my kid, you know how you pull up to something that give you the wrong order at wherever you at, and we leaving the place and they start complaining about, they left my mustard off or they put that on. I tell them like this: listen, you're gonna put a smile on your face and you're gonna eat every bit of that. And when you get done eating that, you're going to lick your fingers.
Nonetheless.
I know we get on. That's just
Nah,
funny stuff.
that's what we're doing, man. Nonetheless. But before we close it out, man, I know you got to get somewhere. And we this show too, but I don't think we've talked about it, man. And B may have another one after this, but I've got to
Got
ask
one
you.
more.
Okay, I got to ask you, Coach. How have you been enjoying your time since here, man? Since in that seat, how have you been enjoying it, man? How you doing?
Man, awesome. Better than ever. Again, Valley, Dr. Briggs, the alumni, the V Club, everybody, they've been wonderful. You know, I want the opportunity to be a head coach, and they gave me that. And since I've been here, this is the way they treated me, way everything about it has been good. Now, obviously, you got, I'm a new guy. I'm different. I'm all about getting things done. And obviously, you go in some place, everybody don't is not on the same page. But the atmosphere and the energy and the love that I've received since I arrived in Itabena has been unbelievable. And it's going this way. Because on a consistent basis, that's what I'm going to bring. That's what the coach is going to bring, and what we're doing, recruiting. What he say, them babies getting ready.
Coach Coach Yo.
Well,
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
the final question of this episode, and listen, that the saying, I guess, of this show is bringing the heat, and you talked about what heat was last week. So I thought a common theme for these episodes is we're going to end the show with a bringing the heat question. I'm not going to let you duck out of it. It's always going to be a tough question. You kept naming all these names of DVs you developed.
Whew.
Give me your starting 4 of all the DBs you've coached. You only get 4. We can call it a Mount Rushmore, but you're building a defense. You get 4 spots, and if you need a cop out, I'll give you a 5th. You can pick someone to stick at the nickel.
Wow, man,
that's bringing the heat. Powered by the V Club.
I would say, man, all of them are different. It's hard. Man,
No.
They know this. My players know this. We rotate.
He's gonna give me the whole 2 deep, everything.
Yeah, we rotate. I can't say starters. We rotate, but I would say this, not starters, but I'm gonna give you some guys that I thought was elite. That to me changed the game, and it started very, very early. Was Patrick Robinson. I would say the most explosive player that I've coached, or tied with Jair Alexander.
That's a name.
Jair, man, just the competitive nature of a young man like that could do whatever he wanted to do on the field. You get into the physical traits of somebody just like big, strong looking. Xavier Rhodes, call him X. You can't go wrong with Xavier Rhodes. My man X, and a lot of these guys I still talk to, these young men. You talk about, I've had a hall guy. So my hall guy is we make adjustments. So if you're walking through the hallway, it's a DB, and I'm like, I could say, hey, I want you to play inside technique on this coverage. If you go in motion, don't go with him, drop back here, and you gone. You don't have no walkthroughs, no board work, no film. That's Tony Carter. Tony Carter was my hall guy, just plug and play, right? Greg Reed, I keep going. Greg Reed played with so much heart. Greg Reed was one of the best blitzing players I ever seen. 5'8.5", 185 pounds, and you couldn't block him. And then you keep moving along. I had Cameron Dantzler, man, the Needle. Let me stop. We might be on another 30 minutes naming all these guys because all of them were special. You got LaMarcus Joyner. Like I told you before, I mentioned Dean Leonard already. Jamal Peters up at State was big and physical, match up with guys. There's a bunch of guys. And everybody had their own quality. One of them are fun, and then you had a bunch of fun ones too. Like a bunch of fun ones that would act a fool. I had one, I ain't gonna call his name, Charles Gaines. I'm not gonna call his name. Would get a PBU and do the snow angel in the middle of the field. Wasn't no snow on the field. They're like, what is he doing? He down there on the field doing the snow angel. Oh man, I laughed too. I laughed with him. I laughed just as hard now.
Man, but what a list! I really just needed to list those names because Coach Fred might not remember. I know he's over there watching ACC football.
Yeah.
That Mississippi State secondary was different.
Ooh.
I mean, man, they
let me tell you all this. I'm gonna tell you this. That Mississippi State defense, I want to say 2019, probably best defense. One of the best defense ever. I know in the SEC. We didn't give up a touchdown that year. With 5 guys, I got a picture with all of them on. I need to get a little poster of those guys. I mean, we put it on some people. We put it on them. It was very, very fun bunch. Great to watch that. I couldn't be more proud of a group.
Coach Fred, to really understand, go watch that bowl game where they played Lamar Jackson. They had Lamar just in a chokehold that game, man. That Lamar might still remember that game as one of his worst. That might have been his worst collegiate game of all time. He threw like 4 picks in that game. Coach Buckley had him. Coach Buckley had that defensive backfield locked in that game.
And we was rolling. We was rolling with Cameron Dance and all those guys out there just making plays. The needle. I'm like, you ain't needle. He's about 175 pounds, 70 pounds like that. You know, needle. You skinny. You know, needle.
Well, man, that is a perfect ending to the second episode of the Coach Terrell Buckley Show. We will be back throughout the offseason. Like I said, signing days coming up. We're going to get a little bit deeper into recruiting. Obviously, Coach Buckley can't talk about the recruits yet. After signing day, we'll have a more individual breakdown of the guys that are headed to Itabena and then some of the other offseason content we have planned. More assistant coaches coming on as we're going to highlight some of the guys that are going to help Coach Buckley build this program into what he wants to build it on in terms of bringing the heat. The valley is rising, and all the other quotes you guys are going to hear on this show. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out the V Club who powers this show. Their link to their website is going to be below in the description. But for myself, Coach Fred, and Mississippi Valley State head coach Terrell Buckley, we will see you guys next week.